The royal court mocks her. They say she imagined it, that no one can turn into a dragon. But Princess Robin saw it happen. She watched her fiancé, the kingdom's greatest dragon slayer, transform into the very creature he was sworn to destroy. He saved her during the attack, and then became the monster himself. Now the court is laughing at her, calling her unstable. No one believes her, not even her father, the king. So Robin makes a dangerous choice. If they won't believe her, she'll prove it. She'll cross into dragon territory, find her fiancé, and uncover the truth about dragons once and for all. But nothing goes according to plan. Her little brother refuses to stay behind. Their guide is hiding secrets and Robin is changing. She can't get warm. Not unless he touches her. And the closer she gets to the truth, the more everything she believed starts to fall apart. Because dragons aren't the monsters she was raised to fear. And the man guiding her through their land might be one of them. Prologue. Robin had never seen a live dragon. She'd seen parts of one. A massive skull mounted in the Great Hall, scales embedded in ceremonial armor. Her entire life had been spent training to fight the kingdom's most feared enemy. Yet nothing had prepared her for the reality of the creature now soaring toward the palace, its massive wings casting a shadow across the western courtyard. Time seemed to slow. The dragon's scales caught the light like shards of ice, pale blue against the afternoon sky. It was beautiful. The thought startled her. Beautiful was not how the royal tutors described dragons. Monstrous, savage, demonic. But as it banked through the air with impossible grace, Robin couldn't help the flutter of wonder in her chest. "Robin!" Strong hands gripped her shoulders, spinning her around. Cyrus's face was inches from hers, his blue eyes wide with urgency. Her fiancé's golden hair was disheveled, his breath coming fast. "We can't stay here. We need to move. Now." His voice was tight, controlled in a way she'd never heard before. Behind them, the first screams erupted from the courtyard below. Guards shouted orders, metal scraped against scabbards. "I've never seen a dragon," Robin began, but Cyrus was already pulling her toward the door. "And I'd prefer to keep it that way," he said, his grip firm on her wrist. Around them, chaos bloomed. Servants ran in all directions. Royal guards formed defensive lines. Courtiers in silken finery scrambled for shelter. The palace shook with a tremendous roar, sending fine dust cascading from the ceiling. Robin stumbled, but Cyrus caught her elbow. "You don't think it's going to attack, do you?" she asked, steadying herself against a wall. "The guards are well trained for moments like these," Cyrus replied, squeezing her hand. "Do not be afraid." "How can I be when I'm with you?" Robin found herself smiling despite the situation. "My father's dragon slayer." A shadow passed over Cyrus's face, there and gone in an instant. Had she imagined it? They had met just 6 months ago, when Cyrus returned from the borderlands bearing dragon scales as proof of his victory. King Baldwin had been so impressed he'd granted the commoner-turned-hero his youngest daughter's hand in marriage. Their wedding was mere weeks away. "Where are we going?" Robin asked as they descended a spiral staircase she'd rarely used. "The catacombs," he replied. "There are hidden emergency exits that will take us out of the castle grounds." They reached a long hallway lined with portraits of her ancestors, stern-faced kings and queens who had built Aldervain's legacy. As they passed the entrance to the royal treasury, Robin pulled her hand free. "Wait!" She darted into the chamber before Cyrus could stop her. "Robin, we don't have time for this." His voice was sharp with frustration. The treasury was empty of guards, all called to defend against the dragon, no doubt. Robin hurried to a pedestal in the center where her father's crown rested on a velvet cushion. The sun crown, they called it, though it was as black as midnight, a circlet of obsidian crystal said to contain magic from the kingdom's earliest days. "Beautiful, isn't it?" she said as Cyrus appeared at her side. "Father says this crown is the kingdom's strength, not just a symbol of human victory against dragons. It supposedly has actual magical properties." She turned to find Cyrus staring at the crown with an odd expression. His face had gone pale, his jaw tight. "Has any mage worked out how to access the supposed magic?" he asked, his voice strained. Robin shook her head, carefully lifting the crown. "No, It's more legend than anything else at this point. Catching Cyrus's stunned gaze, she felt her cheeks warm. I can see why it would seem silly for me to come get it. But we're being attacked by dragons. Every bit of potential magic helps, right? Before he could answer, the entire palace seemed to heave. The floor bucked beneath them, throwing them both to the ground. The crown flew from Robin's hands, clattering across the marble floor. Cyrus rolled to his feet with inhuman speed, helping her up. Are you hurt? Just startled, Robin said, retrieving the crown. Was it her imagination? Or did it feel warmer than before? Another tremor shook the walls. Cyrus pulled her toward a heavy wooden door she'd never noticed before, concealed behind a tapestry. It opened to reveal a narrow staircase descending into darkness. The catacombs, he explained, grabbing a torch from a wall sconce. As they descended, Robin's thoughts turned to her family. Wait, my father, my brothers? The king made it clear what my priorities are. Cyrus cut her off. I protect you. That's my duty. Robin wanted to argue, but found herself following him into the gloom. The stone steps gave way to a tunnel, ancient and smelling of earth and forgotten things. The catacombs stretched endlessly before them, their footsteps echoing against stone walls that had stood for centuries. Robin's mind raced with images of what might be happening above. Her father would be coordinating the defense, sword in hand despite his gray beard. Her oldest brother, Kendrick, would be with the royal guard, while young Tommen would be fretting that he wasn't allowed to fight yet. Do you think they'll be safe? She asked, her voice small in the vast darkness. Cyrus glanced back, his face half illuminated by the torch. Your father survived the border wars. He knows how to handle himself. And my brothers? The castle has withstood worse. He squeezed her hand. Try not to worry. But worry she did. Each step, taking her further from her family, felt like a betrayal. Yet she was grateful for Cyrus's steady presence. She studied the back of his head as they walked, the way his golden hair caught the torchlight. Cyrus had a quiet strength about him, a confidence that never tipped into arrogance. When he laughed, rare but worth the wait, his entire face transformed. In 3 weeks, they would be married in the Great Temple. She'd already tried on her wedding dress twice, a confection of ivory silk and seed pearls. I can't believe this is happening, she said, her voice echoing slightly in the tunnel. The dragons haven't attacked human territories in decades. They haven't been seen near the capital for hundreds of years. How is this possible? Cyrus walked ahead, the torch casting his shadow long against the wall. No idea. Something might have angered them. Dragons are always angry, Robin replied. That's not what I meant. We have wards protecting this kingdom, Cyrus. No dragon has managed to pierce them ever. Until today, he said somberly. Until today, she agreed. But the question remained, how? They walked through the catacombs in silence. Robin tried not to picture the destruction that might be unfolding above. Gardens burned, towers toppled, people she'd known all her life lying injured or worse. Her hands tightened around the crown, and she realized with a start that it was warm to the touch, almost as though it had been sitting near a hearth. The warmth spread from her palms up her arms, seeping gently into her chest. With it came an unexpected calm, quieting the storm of her thoughts. Her racing heart slowed. The tightness in her shoulders eased. This feeling, it wasn't just warmth, but a sense of presence, as though she wasn't alone, even if Cyrus walked 3 paces ahead. She found herself breathing more easily, drawing comfort from the sensation. It felt right somehow, like finding something she hadn't realized was missing. The weight of the crown in her hands became a tether, grounding her amid the chaos of the day. Do you think it's burned at all? She asked after what felt like hours, the warmth giving her the courage to voice her deepest fear. Doubtful, Cyrus said without turning. It was an ice dragon. Robin frowned. An ice dragon? How do you know? Its scales, for one? He replied. Its size, too. It was small. Small? It had seemed enormous to her. Light appeared ahead, an exit from the endless tunnel. Robin quickened her pace, eager to be above ground again, but Cyrus's curse made her pause. 2 horses lay dead near the exit, crushed beneath a fallen tree. No, Cyrus hissed, kneeling beside the animals. What were these horses doing here? Robin asked, suspicion blooming. There are always some waiting just in case. he said, but the explanation felt hollow. We can't waste any more time. We need to go on foot. Cyrus turned to her, then froze. What's happening? Robin followed his gaze to the crown in her hands. It was glowing now, a soft amber light pulsing from within. At its center, a jewel she'd never noticed before, always as dark as the rest of the crown, now shone with a brilliant, reddish gold light. The warmth had intensified, flowing through her like honey, sweet and comforting despite the strangeness of it all. It's not supposed to be doing that, Cyrus said, stepping closer. He reached for the crown. Give it to me, Robin. As his fingers approached, Robin recoiled. No! She clutched the crown to her chest, stepping back. Every instinct rebelled against surrendering the crown, as though doing so would tear away something that had become part of her. Robin, please, Cyrus said, his expression tense. It could be dangerous. The crown's heat increased, but it didn't burn. It fortified, like drinking mulled wine on a winter night. Why was she so reluctant to give this crown away? Voices echoed from the forest nearby, interrupting her thoughts. People were approaching. We have to go, Cyrus urged. Go? Why? Robin asked. A search party is coming our way. Or it could be bandits, her fiancé countered. The castle was just attacked, Robin. It's not safe. The voices drew closer. Cyrus's expression grew desperate. Please, come with me. He extended his hand. We need to leave. Now. Where to? She demanded. And what for? We're out of immediate danger. I'd like to figure out how to best help my people. I want to help my people, too, Cyrus interrupted, his blue eyes locked with hers, pleading. Do you trust me? He asked. Robin frowned, opened her mouth, hesitated. The ground shook as another dragon passed overhead, different from the first, darker in color. Cyrus glanced up, then back at Robin with naked fear in his eyes. I'm sorry, he whispered. I never meant for it to go this far. Before she could ask what he meant, Cyrus doubled over as if in pain. Robin reached for him, then stopped mid-motion as his body began to change. It started with his eyes. Those blue eyes she'd gazed into countless times, planned a future with, the pupils narrowed to vertical slits, the irises darkening to midnight. His face contorted in what looked like agony, bones shifting audibly beneath his skin. Cyrus! Robin's voice was barely a whisper. What's happening? He couldn't answer, his jaw elongated, teeth sharpening to gleaming points. His skin rippled and hardened, human flesh giving way to scales, and his hands, those gentle hands that had held hers through palace gardens, twisted and stretched into massive claws. Robin stood transfixed, unable to move, unable even to scream. This couldn't be real. It defied everything she'd been taught, everything she believed about the world. The transformation accelerated. Cyrus, if he could still be called that, grew to 3 times his human size, his form elongating, a tail whipping out behind him. Great wings unfurled from his back, stretching wide enough to blot out the sky. Where her fiancé had stood moments before, a massive dragon now crouched, its scales the color of a midnight sea. For one breathless moment, their eyes met. In those draconic eyes, Robin saw something hauntingly familiar, a flicker of the man she thought she knew. But dragons were monsters from the wild edges of the map. They weren't men who recited poetry and kissed her beneath the wisteria arbor. So when the creature reached toward her with one clawed foreleg, a gesture almost like pleading, the spell broke. Terror flooded through her, overriding the crown's warmth, and Robin stumbled backward, a scream finally tearing from her throat. The dragon Cyrus flinched at the sound. She didn't wait for another reaction. She ran. Back into the catacombs she fled, heart hammering, legs trembling. The crown still clutched against her chest. Her breath came in gasps, her mind unable to process what she'd witnessed. Everything she had been taught crumbled like sand. Dragons could take human form. Her fiancé was a dragon. Nothing would ever be the same again. When minutes passed and nothing pursued her, Robin crawled back to the entrance, peering cautiously outside. The clearing was empty. Both dragons, the ice dragon from before and the one that had been Cyrus, had vanished into the sky. She sank to the ground, the crown's warmth now the only steady thing in a world turned upside down. Chapter 1. And that's when we found the horses crushed by the fallen tree, Robin concluded, gesturing with her hands. Her voice echoed in the high-ceilinged council chamber. "If they hadn't been there, we might have—" Yes, interrupted Lord Darien, drumming his fingers impatiently against the polished oak table. "We understand the sequence of events, Princess. What we need now are actionable measures." Robin straightened her spine, surveying the faces around her father's council table. She had told them almost everything: the escape through the catacombs, finding the emergency exit, even her confusion about the prearranged horses. Almost everything, except the one detail she'd been holding back. Her gaze drifted to her father. King Baldwin sat tall at the head of the table, the sun crown gleaming black upon his brow. 3 days had passed since the dragon attack, and every time she looked at that crown, a strange unease crept through her. It sat there inert and cold, showing none of the amber glow it had revealed when she held it. "It doesn't belong there," whispered a thought so sudden and unbidden that Robin nearly gasped aloud. "I understand you'd like us to send a search party, daughter," her father said, looking regretful. "But sparing those resources after we've just fallen prey to the first dragon attack in decades?" "It didn't exactly attack, though, did it?" Robin interrupted. "I mean, there were no casualties, no real damage except to the East Tower." "Nevertheless," Lord Darien interjected, "dragons have breached our wards. War could be close. We must prepare our defenses, not scatter our forces on a rescue mission." Robin clenched her fists. "All the more reason to go look for our best dragon slayer." She met her father's eyes imploringly. When he merely winced, she turned to her brother, Prince Kendrick, who stood at their father's right hand. Kendrick's expression was tight with frustration. At 25, 7 years her senior, he had always been the practical one, the soldier, the heir who saw every problem as a military equation. "What?" Robin demanded when she caught his look. He sighed. "Look, Robin, there's very little chance Cyrus is still alive." Robin froze. "What? You said the dragon arrived, you fled back inside the catacombs, and when you came out, Cyrus was gone," Kendrick said, his tone gentler now, but still matter of fact. "If the dragon took him, he must be long dead by now." "Son," King Baldwin cautioned. Kendrick shook his head. "I'm sorry, but we've wasted enough time speaking about this when everybody knows Cyrus isn't coming back. And while that is terrible news," he turned to Robin, genuine sympathy in his eyes. "And I am so sorry, Robin. We have a crisis to manage." Robin's gaze darted again to the crown on her father's head. Its dark surface seemed to absorb the light rather than reflect it. Why didn't anyone else seem to notice how wrong it looked there? "Cyrus is alive." The words left her lips with absolute certainty. Of course, they all thought him dead. She had left out the most important part of her story, afraid they might not wish to pursue a dragon. But surely now that they were jumping to such terrible conclusions, the truth would be preferable. Kendrick sighed. "Robin, think about it. There's very little chance the dragon—" "He's alive," Robin interrupted, "because he is also a dragon." A pregnant silence fell over the chamber. The counselors exchanged glances. Robin smiled, relieved to finally share the revelation. Now they would understand why finding Cyrus was so important. "Excuse me?" Kendrick asked, his voice dangerously quiet. Robin took a deep breath. "Cyrus. He is a dragon. That's how he disappeared. He transformed into one. I watched it with my own eyes." The silence deepened. Robin's smile faltered at the incredulous looks being exchanged. "I understand your shock," she continued quickly. "Believe me, I couldn't believe it either, but it explains so much. Why the dragons breached our wards now. Why Cyrus knew so much about them. What it means, I don't know. Was he a dragon in disguise all along? Or is he both human and dragon somehow?" She paused, remembering his final words. "I'm sorry. I never meant for it to go this far." "I don't think we're in danger," she said more softly. "He asked me to trust him. Maybe this is our chance. What if we could actually speak with dragons? Figure out what they want? Make peace?" She looked directly at her father. "I'd like to go after Cyrus not just to retrieve an ally, but because I truly believe this is our best chance at preparing ourselves for what's to come. By speaking with one of them who knows us, who—" She stopped just short of saying who was to be my husband. There was a pause. Robin waited, hope fluttering in her chest. Her father's eyes had widened, and for a moment she thought she had finally gotten through to him. Then Lord Darien snorted. A chuckle escaped Lady Mira. Within seconds, the entire council chamber had erupted in laughter. Robin stared in bewilderment. "Oh, that's rich," wheezed Lord Halford, slapping the table. "Dragons taking human form. What will she come up with next?" "A creative embellishment, Princess," Lady Mira said, wiping her eyes. "Perhaps you should turn your talents to writing epic poetry." Robin felt her face growing hot. "I'm not joking," she protested. "It's true. I saw it happen." "Dragons are beasts," Kendrick said firmly. "Powerful, dangerous beasts, but beasts nonetheless. They don't reason, they don't transform, and they certainly don't infiltrate royal courts." "But I saw—" "You saw a man flee in one direction, while a dragon appeared from another," her father said gently. "In the chaos and fear of the moment, your mind connected them." "No!" Robin's voice rose. "I know what I saw. He changed right in front of me." "She's becoming hysterical," Lord Darien muttered. "Why won't any of you listen to me?" Robin continued, her frustration mounting. Her gaze caught on the crown again, its dark surface seeming to mock her. She jabbed a finger toward it. "And that crown, it glowed when I held it. It was warm and amber light shone from within it. Why is no one talking about that?" Her father's hand moved protectively to the crown. "Robin, enough." "No. Take it off. Let me show you." She moved toward him, the strange possessiveness she'd felt in the catacombs returning tenfold. "Look at her," Kendrick said to their father, gesturing to Robin's flushed face and trembling hands. "She's exhausted, traumatized. She's just lost the man she was to marry. Of course she's created a story where he's still alive somewhere, and now fixating on the crown." The king hesitated, studying Robin with concern. For a moment, she saw doubt in his eyes. "Father," she pleaded, "please, just let me hold it again. You'll see." King Baldwin sighed heavily. "Robin, my dear, I think you should retire to your chambers and rest. This council has serious matters to discuss regarding our kingdom's defense." "But, Master Fenrin?" the king called, and the court physician stepped forward from the shadows. "Would you please escort the princess to her quarters? Perhaps a sleeping draft?" "I don't need a sleeping draft," Robin cried, backing away. "I need someone to believe me." Master Fenrin took her arm gently but firmly. "Come, Your Highness. You've suffered a terrible shock. Your mind is simply trying to protect itself from the pain." "My mind is perfectly sound," Robin hissed, trying to pull away. How could they dismiss her like this? She had never been treated as though her words meant nothing. "Dragon men," someone muttered, followed by barely concealed laughter. "Next she'll claim the stable boys are secretly griffins," whispered another. Humiliation washed over Robin in a scalding wave. She stopped struggling and allowed Master Fenrin to lead her toward the door, her eyes fixed on the floor. She had always been the dutiful daughter, the clever princess whose observations were praised. She'd never imagined they would simply not believe her. Chapter 2. 2 days had passed since the council meeting, and Robin had barely left her chambers. 2 days of whispers that stopped when she entered rooms, of servants who couldn't quite meet her eyes, of her father's concerned glances at mealtimes. 2 days of wondering if perhaps she truly had lost her mind. The castle had developed a new routine around her, speaking in hushed tones when she was near, offering sympathetic smiles that felt more like pity. The brave princess driven mad by grief. Poor thing. Such a shame. Robin tossed another log onto the fire, sending sparks dancing up the chimney. Despite the already blazing heat, a persistent chill had settled deep in her bones that no amount of flames seemed to chase away. She had taken to keeping her chambers almost uncomfortably warm, yet still found herself shivering at odd moments. She huddled closer to the hearth, stretching her hands toward the flames. The fire danced before her eyes, and Robin found herself staring into it for hours, mesmerized by its constant movement. Sometimes, if she looked long enough, she could almost see shapes in the embers, wings, scales, eyes. "Did I imagine it?" she whispered to the empty room. "Am I truly mad?" She closed her eyes, forcing herself to replay the moment for the 100th time. Cyrus doubling over in pain, his skin rippling, hardening to scales, his face elongating, teeth sharpening to points. The way his body grew, expanded, changed. The dragon's eyes, his eyes, meeting hers one final time. It had been real. It had to have been real. Robin groaned, pressing the heels of her hands against her eyes. Even if she had somehow imagined the transformation, one fact remained. Cyrus was gone. Her Cyrus. The man she was meant to spend her life with. He was missing, and no one was looking for him. She rose abruptly, pacing the length of her chamber as another wave of coldness swept through her. If she could find him and brought him back, her father would be grateful. If she found him and proved he was a dragon, proved she wasn't delusional, her brother would have to apologize. And if she somehow managed to establish communication with dragons, Father would be so grateful he'd have to give me his sun crown, she thought excitedly, then frowned. Why am I thinking about this crown? That's not important. She shook her head, trying to focus. What mattered was finding Cyrus, and if no one would help her, she would do it herself. Decision made, she moved with new purpose. She changed into riding clothes and packed lightly, a change of clothes, a water skin, dried food, coins, and her dagger. The castle was quiet as she slipped through shadowed corridors. The night guards were predictable. She had been sneaking out to the stables since she was 12. Tonight was no different, except that she had no intention of returning before dawn. The stables were dark, but Robin knew her way by touch and smell. Her mare, Briar, nickered softly as she approached. "We're going on an adventure, girl," she whispered, securing her pack behind the saddle. "Just you and me." "And me," came a small voice from the shadows. Robin jumped, her hand flying to her dagger. "Who's there?" Prince Tommen stepped into the dim light, arms crossed over his chest. At 12, he was all gangly limbs and curiosity. "What are you doing?" he asked, though his sly smile suggested he knew. "Going for a ride," Robin said casually. "Clear my head." "Why?" Tommen tilted his head. "Oh, one feels the need for fresh air when one's fiancé disappears and everyone assumes he's dead." "One might." Tommen's smile widened. "But not you. You're going after him, aren't you?" Robin sighed, caught. "Yes, all right. I know no one believes me, Tom, but I know what I saw. I have to find him. I have to know the truth." "What truth?" Robin studied her brother's face. There was no mockery there, no disbelief, just simple curiosity. "Fine," she said, leaning against Briar's flank. "When Cyrus disappeared, he didn't just disappear. He changed into a dragon." She braced herself for laughter. Instead, Tommen's eyes widened to perfect circles. "Dragons can turn into humans?" he breathed, wonder filling his voice. Robin felt a lump form in her throat. "I believe so. Which is why I must find Cyrus, because if they can, then everything we've believed about dragons until now has been wrong." Tommen nodded solemnly. You're right, you have to find him. Thank you, Robin whispered, relief washing through her. I'll come with you, Tommen announced. What? No, absolutely not. I know where we should go, he continued, ignoring her protest. The captain of the guard is always talking about this inn by the borders where mercenaries meet. That's where smugglers who can get you across hang out. Robin raised her chin. We don't need to be smuggled in, we're royals. We're going on a diplomatic mission. Tommen looked at her sympathetically. Who doesn't know you're coming, probably won't be waiting for you by the borders, and most definitely won't have told the dragons you're coming. Robin deflated, knowing he was right. Fine, I'll go to your inn, but you can't come with me. I'm going on a suicide mission. I can't bring my baby brother. Tommen just smiled patiently. You don't have a choice. Of course I do. I'm leaving. And the moment you're gone, I'll wake up Kendrick and tell him exactly where you've gone. Robin stared at her brother in disbelief. You wouldn't. I would. His expression softened. But I'd rather come with you. Two are safer than one, and I know things. I listen to people. The guards never watch what they say around me. Robin weighed her options. She could try to leave before he could wake Kendrick, but her brother was fast and knew all the shortcuts. This is madness, she muttered. Father would kill me if I put you in danger. Father thinks you've lost your mind, Tommen pointed out. I believe you. Isn't that worth something? It was worth everything. You'll do exactly as I say, Robin said sternly. No arguments, no wandering off, no heroics. Understood? Tommen nodded eagerly, already moving toward his own pony. I've already packed. I've been ready since I overheard Kendrick talking about making you marry Lord Cassius's son. You've been planning this? I've been waiting for you to finally do something, he corrected, swinging up onto his pony. You're not the only one who can sneak out at night. Despite everything, Robin found herself smiling. Lead the way to this infamous inn, then. Tommen's laughter was soft in the darkness. Oh, Robin, we're not coming back until you find your dragon man. I left a note saying we've gone to visit Aunt Elaine in the southern province. That should buy us at least a week. Robin stared at her brother, reassessing him completely. The innocent boy had just revealed himself to be far craftier than she'd ever suspected. Who are you? She asked, half joking. Tommen grinned. I'm the boy who's going to help his sister find a dragon. He nudged his pony forward. Now come on, the inn's a half-day's ride if we hurry. As they slipped out of the castle grounds, Robin felt something she hadn't felt since the council chamber. Hope. With Tommen by her side, the crushing isolation of the past days lifted. The road stretched dark and unknown before them, leading to a world where dragons might walk as men, and everything she thought she knew could be wrong. She couldn't wait to discover it. Chapter 3. I still can't believe I brought you along, Robin said, adjusting her cloak against the persistent chill she'd felt for days. The road stretched before them, winding through increasingly wild terrain as they approached the borderlands. Come on, Tommen grinned, seemingly immune to the gravity of their situation. Father and Kendrick never let me do anything. For once, I get to go on an adventure. It's not an adventure, it's a dangerous and probably impossible quest. Robin sighed. As soon as we find somebody to smuggle me inside dragon territory, you're going home. Got it? Tommen smiled sweetly at her. Got it? Robin insisted. Absolutely, Tommen agreed with suspicious cheerfulness. And look, here's the inn. Just ahead, see? Robin followed his pointing finger to a ramshackle building ahead. Two men were brawling in the dirt outside while others cheered them on. A tattered sign swung from rusted chains, the painted image of a dragon with an arrow through its heart, nearly worn away. The fallen drake, she read aloud, looks just like the captain described it. Perfect, isn't it? Tommen declared, beaming. Robin grimaced as another shiver ran through her. Well, let's go in. It's chilly out here. "It's not so bad," Tommen said, looking puzzled. "It's nearly summer." "Let's go," Robin said firmly, giving him a look that silenced further comment. They tethered their horses and pushed through the battered door. The stench hit Robin first: unwashed bodies, spilled ale, and something acrid she couldn't identify. The room fell into a watchful silence as heads turned toward the newcomers. These were mercenaries, smugglers, and worse. People who lived on the edges of society, who knew the secret paths between kingdoms. Exactly the sort of people they needed. "What now?" Robin whispered to her brother. Tommen squared his small shoulders. "Just follow my lead." Before she could stop him, he marched confidently to the bar where a large man with a scar bisecting his left eye was wiping tankards. "Good kind sir," Tommen began, his voice carrying in the now quiet room. "Would you be so kind as to point us toward someone who might take us across the dragon borders?" Robin closed her eyes briefly. "Really? Straight up asking?" "Well," the barman interrupted, "there's plenty of people who could take you. Now whether they'd want to, that's another story." "We can pay?" Robin said, stepping forward. "Sure," the barman nodded. "But paying don't keep you alive. People usually team up with someone that has the skills to survive out there. It's brutal beyond the borders." His eyes raked over them. "And you two, well, I ain't too sure what skills you two have, but it's not looking very promising." For the next hour, Robin and Tommen approached table after table, offering increasing sums of gold. Some laughed outright. Others began negotiating only to back out when they learned the destination. Eventually, they found themselves back at the bar, Robin's frustration mounting. "Told you," the barman said. "No one's going to want to risk their lives by dragging dead weight into a danger zone." Robin leaned forward, lowering her voice. "Look, I hate to do this, but this is for the sake of the kingdom." She glanced around. "We're royals, and this mission could change the course of history." "Yeah, look, honey," the barman interrupted. "No one's going to care. You'd need someone who's both money-obsessed and has absolutely no sense of self-preservation whatsoever." Just then, the door swung open. A tall figure in a hooded cloak entered, silencing the room momentarily before conversation resumed. As the newcomer approached the bar and pushed back his hood, Robin's words died in her throat. He was striking, not handsome in the courtly way she was accustomed to, but compelling in a way that made it difficult to look away. His hair was dark, almost black, with a streak of deep auburn that caught the light like burnished copper. His face was all angles, sharp cheekbones, strong jaw, straight nose, and his eyes were the strangest color she'd ever seen, a warm amber that seemed almost to glow in the dim tavern light. "Actually," the barman said, brightening, "you could ask Xander here. He fits the bill pretty well." The man, Xander, glanced their way at the sound of his name, and for a moment, Robin could have sworn time slowed. Then he began walking toward the bar, toward her, with a determined stride, and Robin straightened, smoothing her travel-worn clothes. She found herself wondering what his voice would sound like. "The usual, Gareth," Xander said, walking right past Robin as if she were invisible. His voice was low and rough, as though he didn't use it often. "Just one?" the barman asked, retrieving a bottle from beneath the counter while Robin stood there, jaw slightly slack. Xander snorted. "I'll be back." He dropped coins on the bar, took the bottle, and turned to leave. "You should probably ask him now, while he's sober enough to understand you," the barman, Gareth, suggested, nodding toward Xander's retreating back. "Well, worth a try," Tommen said, sliding off his stool and hurrying after the man. "Excuse me, kind sir." Robin closed her eyes in mortification. This had been a terrible idea. Xander paused at the door, looking down at Tommen with a raised eyebrow. If he was surprised to see a 12-year-old in a mercenary bar, he showed no sign of it. "What do you want, kid?" he asked, one hand already on the door. "For you to take us across the borders, To the dragon territory, Tommen replied, gesturing toward Robin. Xander snorted. And who's we? You and your mother? Sister, Robin growled, sliding into the space beside her brother. Xander's eyes finally shifted to her, a proper assessment that made her feel like she was being weighed and found wanting. You two want to go into dragon territory? He asked, incredulous. It is of the utmost importance that we do, Robin declared, meeting his gaze steadily. Xander's lips quirked. Right. Of the utmost importance. Which is why you brought the prepubescent adolescent with you, is it? Because it's so vital. Robin bristled. He is the prince of this kingdom. You will address him with respect. Xander sighed, uncorking his bottle. He gave Tommen an exaggerated bow. My apologies, Your Highness. Thank you, Robin said primly. He fixed her with a withering look. Still not helping you. We can pay, Robin insisted, frustration mounting. Heavily. You wouldn't last a day out there, sweetheart. He shrugged, indifferent. And I'm not in the business of condemning royalty to death. Bad for my reputation. Robin pouted. I will have you know, both my brother and I have been well trained to survive dragons, and we're not asking for your opinion, just whether you'll take us across or not. Please, Tommen interrupted, his eyes wide and earnest. It's very important to us. To Robin even more so. Xander looked between them, taking another long swig. Why do you even want to go there anyway? For love, Robin answered without thinking. Xander nearly choked on his drink. I'm sorry, what? He stared at her as if she'd sprouted wings. Did you just say for love? Robin lifted her chin. I'm going after the man I'm going to marry. Your fiancé... Xander blinked. Your fiancé went into dragon territory, voluntarily? Something like that, Robin replied. Xander threw back his head and laughed. Oh, this is priceless. The princess is on a quest for true love in dragon territory. What's next? Will there be singing woodland creatures to accompany us? Robin's face burned. Mock me all you want, but this is serious. Oh, I'm sure it is, Xander said, amusement still dancing in his eyes. Look, princess, I'm sorry your betrothed had poor judgment, but charging into dragon territory for a rescue mission is suicide. You don't know that? Robin insisted. I know dragons, Xander replied, his tone suddenly serious, all humor gone, and I know what they do to trespassers. The conviction in his voice nearly made Robin falter. What if he was right? What if Cyrus was already... No, she couldn't think that way. We're still going, she said firmly, with or without you. Xander studied them for a long moment. Look, I'm sorry, but I can't help you. He turned to leave. In desperation, Robin reached out, her hand closing around his forearm. Wait. The moment her fingers touched him, she froze. His skin was unnaturally warm, radiating heat like a banked fire. The warmth seemed to flow from him into her, chasing away the persistent chill that had plagued her for days. Xander pulled away sharply, frowning. I can't help you. Sorry for your fiancé, lady, but it's not. I'm the princess of this kingdom, Robin blurted, playing her final card. If you help us, whatever you desire from my father's, the king's, treasure vault is yours. Xander's protest died on his lips. Anything? The word seemed dragged from him against his will. Robin saw his hesitation and pressed her advantage, reaching for the chain around her neck. She pulled out a large ruby ring, her grandmother's, which she had brought as an emergency bargaining chip. Yes, she smiled. Anything you want. She dangled the ruby before him. Xander's eyes fixed on the gem, following its movement with an intensity that seemed almost predatory. His pupils dilated slightly, and the amber of his irises seemed to brighten. He was utterly transfixed. I don't... he began, but his hand moved of its own accord, snatching the ring from her grasp. His fingers closed around it possessively, and he held it close, examining its facets. He seemed to catch himself then, straightening and clearing his throat. "Fine," he snapped, tucking the ruby into an inner pocket with a quick, almost furtive movement. "When do you want to go?" "Tomorrow morning," Robin said before he could change his mind. "We'll need supplies." Xander nodded curtly. "Meet me here at dawn. Bring only what you can carry, and more payment." His eyes glinted. "More shiny things," Tommen whispered, not quite quietly enough, like a magpie. Xander's head snapped toward the boy. "What was that?" he asked, pretending he hadn't heard. "Nothing," Robin interjected. "We'll be here at dawn." Xander narrowed his eyes, then shrugged. "Well, at least I'll be paid well for delivering you to your deaths." He inclined his head in a mockery of a courtly bow. "Until tomorrow, your highnesses." As he turned to leave, Robin suddenly stepped forward. "Wait." Xander paused, looking back with an impatient expression. "Could we meet earlier?" she asked, lowering her voice. 2 hours before dawn, perhaps? He raised an eyebrow. "Why?" Robin glanced at Tommen, who was distracted by a bar fight breaking out in the corner. "I'd prefer to leave before my brother wakes," she said quietly. "He'll be safer here." Xander studied her for a moment, then gave a curt nod. "Eastern edge of town, 2 hours before dawn." He held out his hand. "For the inconvenience." Robin hesitated, then pulled a small gold bracelet set with emeralds from her pouch. His eyes fixed on it with that same strange intensity before he pocketed it and walked out without another word. "What was that about?" Tommen asked, returning his attention to Robin. "Nothing," she said. "Just confirming details. Come on, let's find somewhere to sleep." As they left the tavern in search of lodging, Robin's thoughts were already racing with plans to slip away before her brother could follow. What she didn't notice was the thoughtful look in Tommen's eyes as he watched her from behind.
Hi everyone, I hope you enjoyed this preview. Robin's journey is only just beginning, and what she's about to discover will change everything. If you'd like to continue the story, the full version is available for free on my Patreon. You'll find the link right below, in the description and pinned comment. I'll see you there.